Hey, it's Tony Mecia with the Charlotte Ledger, and you're listening to the Charlotte Ledger podcast. You can find out more about the Charlotte Ledger at thecharlotteledger.com. In this podcast, which is also being broadcast on YouTube, we're talking with Sucharita Kodali of the Election Hub about the Democratic ballot in Mecklenburg County. Sucharita is the executive director of the Election Hub, which the Charlotte Ledger is partnering with to help provide unbiased, neutral information about candidates on the ballot in Mecklenburg, Gaston, and Cabarrus counties. Today we're talking, as I said, about the Democratic ballot in Mecklenburg County. Sucharita, welcome.
Thanks, Tony. And hopefully, you guys will all be able to use the Election Hub. It's theelectionhub.org. We're going to do a screen share for those of you who are able to join on YouTube.
Well, great. Let's get into it. And a reminder, we're talking about the Democratic ballot in Mecklenburg County. You can take that ballot if you are a registered Democrat or if you are an unaffiliated voter in Mecklenburg County. If you're unaffiliated, you also have the opportunity to take the Republican ballot. I mean, you have to choose. You can't take them both. You can take the Republican ballot or the Democratic ballot. The election is March 3rd. Early voting is at 19 sites through Saturday, February 28th. And again, you can find out all the information on candidates at theelectionhub.org. So one of the most high-profile races, I think, is going to be the U.S. Senate race. This is the Tom Tillis seat. He's a Republican. He's not running again. So this is an open seat. You have a primary on the Republican side, and you also have a primary on the Democratic side. What's going on the Democratic side, Sucharita?
Well, the front runner is former Governor Roy Cooper. He has raised a lot of money from the Federal Election Commission data. He is one of the top fundraisers in the entire country for a Senate seat, but he does have to get through this primary. And there are a number of other competitors. Justin Dews has run a number of times for House seats and other roles in the past. Robert Cologne. Oric Quick is a pastor from the High Point area. Marcus Williams has run before, and he is an attorney. And then there is Daryl Farrow as well.
All right. And so again, the winner here, obviously Roy Cooper, the former governor, former attorney general of North Carolina, very well known. The winner here will face the winner of the Republican primary. That is also obviously no incumbent there. Michael Whatley is one of the best known folks there. He's the former chair of the North Carolina Republican Party. We'll go ahead and move on to the North Carolina House. There are three districts in Mecklenburg County, and all of them have Democratic primaries. Let's talk first about U.S. House District 8. This is a southern Mecklenburg Matthews district. The winner of this Democratic primary will face incumbent Mark Harris. He's a Republican. That will be in November, of course. But here you have two active candidates. Sucharita, tell me about those.
Yeah, the two active candidates are Kevin Clark and Colby Watson. Both would be newcomers to the House if either were elected. And then there was a third candidate, Jesse Oppenheim, but he recently suspended his campaign due to family medical issues. So voters should just know that his name is going to be on the ballot, but he posted a video on Facebook saying that he was no longer actively campaigning.
Right. So Clark is the former head of the Richmond County Democratic Party. Watson is a small business owner from Union County. So you do have a choice there if you live in southeastern Mecklenburg or Matthews. Moving right along to U.S. House District 12. This is right in the center of Mecklenburg County, including the area around Center City. The winner here will face the winner of the Republican primary. This race is notable because it has an incumbent, Alma Adams. She's 79. She's been in Congress for 12 years. She's facing a challenger, Monica Mae Williamson, who is a teacher, says she wants to bring jobs to the district and to North Carolina. So that's the choice there for District 12. Let's move along to U.S. House District 14. This is the northern and western edges of Mecklenburg. The seat is currently held by Republican Tim Moore. He's the former Speaker of the North Carolina House, but you have some Democrats who are running to face the winner of the Republican primary, in which Tim Moore is a participant. What do we know here about these three candidates running in the Democratic primary and this seat currently held by Tim Moore.
Right. So we have Brent Caldwell, Lakeisha Womack, and Ahmed Kargbo. Ahmed Kargbo is one of the youngest candidates. He's a student. Lakeisha Womack runs or she is a senior executive at a nonprofit. And Brent Caldwell is a lawyer, I believe. He's a finance and real estate attorney. So.
All right. Well, very good. We'll move along. We'll start looking now at the General Assembly races on the Democratic side. Remember, all this information is available at theelectionhub.org. There are several House and Senate races. Let's look first at North Carolina Senate District 37. This is the very northern tip of Mecklenburg, as well as part of Iredell County, where the incumbent, who's a Republican, Vicky Sawyer, will face the winner of this race. This is between Priscinda Jorgen, who is a former real estate broker, and Reagan Angel, who is a Elon University law student. So the winner there will face Vicky Sawyer. And then in the North Carolina House, there are a couple of contested primaries for incumbent Democrats. Why don't you tell us about those, Sucharita?
Yeah, so these are interesting. It's District 99 and 105. They're both in the eastern part of the county. Longtime incumbents. Nassif Majid is one. He faces Valeria Levy and Tucker Neal, also one of the younger candidates running for office. One of the interesting things about Nassif Majid is that in this current term, Governor Josh Stein has had 8 vetoes overridden, and 2 of those did have to pull Democratic votes. In 2 of those cases, all 8 of those cases, they had to pull some Democratic votes, and in 2 of those, Nassif Majid actually voted with the Republicans.
Right.
Yes, go ahead,
I'm
Tim.
sorry, I was just going to say, yeah, I mean, the Democratic Party, the establishment Democratic Party has been sort of a little bit fired up about that. And so both of those candidates, Nassif Majid and Carla Cunningham, who's in North Carolina House District 106, they have primary opponents because a lot of Democrats are a little bit concerned that they voted with Republicans on a couple of those issues.
Right. And Carla Cunningham faces Vermano Bowman, who has actually run against Carla in the past, and Rodney Sadler as well. Sadler's actually picked up a number of endorsements, including from the Black Political Caucus. So it will be interesting to see. This is an extremely contested election. And we're going to see Cunningham's name come up again during the sheriff's race, which we're going to talk about in a moment.
Right. And so in House District 106, there is no Republican opponent. So the winner of this Democratic primary will be uncontested on the ballot in November. And both of those districts, NC House 106 with incumbent Carla Cunningham and NC House 99 with incumbent Nassif Majid, those are in the University City area, Mallard Creek area. And I know people up there have been getting bombarded with mailers. I have a friend up there. He said he gets one just about every day about Carla Cunningham. So moving along, Court of Appeals, seat 3. This is an open seat. You know, judgeships don't get a lot of attention, but what's going on here, Sucharita?
Yeah, these judgeships are very important because ultimately these are the issues like redistricting, which often are decided, and this is an issue which likely won't go away. These are also long terms, 8-year long terms, so they do absolutely matter. The 2 Democrats here on this ticket are Christine Walczyk, who is a judge, a longtime judge from Wake County, and James Whalen, who is an attorney, who's actually an appellate attorney, who very prominently fought the Riggs Griffin case, which was also about voter rolls and whether or not voters had their proper documentation to actually vote this was the 2024 election.
Right. And Whalen is an appellate attorney who's got a Charlotte connection. He's an East Mecklenburg grad. And the winner of this primary will face Republican Craig Collins in the fall. So these aren't necessarily household names, but these judgeships are pretty important.
But
let's
this
move
was
along.
a Democratic seat. It was Allegra Collins, and she vacated it. So the Democrats are looking to hold on to it.
Very good. Let's move along to County Commission, the Mecklenburg County Commissioners race. There are a few on the Democratic side. Currently, the County Commission is 9-0 Democrats to Republicans. There are no Republicans on the County Commission. There are a few, I believe, who are running in the fall, but there's nobody on the Republican ballot. But on the Democratic ballot, there are several. The most active one, of course, is the at-large race. In this race, you can vote for up to three people. And that's good because there are 10 people running. So you're going to have some choices here. There are three incumbents, Yvette Townsend Ingram, Arthur Griffin, and Lee Altman. They are fairly well known. I went to an election forum recently in which some of their challengers who are a little more progressive were saying, well, we think the current county commission is too cozy with developers, allows too much development. Some of them didn't like the idea of funding this first responder training center that Central Piedmont Community College is building in Matthews that was funded by the county. They criticized that. They've called it Cop City. They say it's too militaristic. So you're going to have some divisions here, even though these are all Democrats. They're not afraid to have a little give and take. What do we know, Sucharita?
Right. So there are a number of candidates here. This is the most contested race on the ballot. So you'll have a lot of choices. Olivia Scott is a competitor. She's run before, but she doesn't really actively campaign, doesn't respond to surveys of any sort. Felicia Tompkins has run before. Sharif Hanan is relatively new to the Charlotte area, but he is certainly one of those voices that has been actively talking, kind of critiquing that police training center. Leslie Allen is a candidate who has done a lot of hourly and gig work and says that she really understands the people that should be representing. Tony Emahel actually ran for Board of Education in 2025. Nichelle Dunlap is a competitor, and Heather Morrow as well. Heather Morrow actually was arrested for a protest during some of the ICE raids. So just to keep that in mind. The only other news note, is that Yvette Townsend Ingram did have a warrant out for her arrest due to an allegation that she didn't show for a hearing following a DWI from her the last time that she was elected.
Right. And she said that was a paperwork mix up and she's getting it all straightened out, is what she said
Right.
about that. All right, let's move along to these other commissioner races really quickly. We have three district races. There are, of course, more districts than that, but there are only three have competitive Democratic primaries. The most interesting one maybe is in District 1, which is Northern Mecklenburg, which is an open seat. There's no incumbent running. Incumbent Elaine Powell decided not to run. So that opened this one up. It's a three-way race between Morris McAdoo, Adam Pasiak, and Jessica Finkel. McAdoo is a lawyer, says he wants to emphasize responsible budgeting and housing affordability. Pasiak is the former chair of the Democrats of Northern Mecklenburg. He's a sourcing manager. And Jessica Finkel she works for a digital agency. She's stressing environmental justice and renewable energy. So a few options there. Moving along to District 2. This is a seat in Western Mecklenburg where you have a longtime incumbent, Vilma Leak, who is 92 years old. She was first elected to office in Mecklenburg County in 1997. She was on the school board and then, of course, now on the county commission. She's being challenged by Monifa Mo Drayton. Let's see, what do we know about this race, Sucharita?
Well, this is, I think, maybe the only time ever that Vilma Leak did not get the Black Political Caucus endorsement.
I think she didn't get it last time. Last time around, I looked this up, but I don't think she got it last time either.
She
But
didn't?
I
I
don't think
thought,
so.
okay, all
We
right.
can
I
look
thought
this
that
up.
she did back then. But yeah. So in any case, she did not get it this election. Instead, they gave it to Monifa Mo Drayton. So it will be interesting to see how this shakes out. Commissioner Leak has been there for a long time, but Tony, as you pointed out, she is in her early 90s, and I think that there are a lot of believers who think that it's time for her to move on.
All right. The next race we're going to talk about really quickly is District 3. This is a seat in the University City area where you have incumbent George Dunlap. He's a longtime elected official. He, like Bill Malik, served a number of years on the Charlotte-Mecklenburg Board of Education before moving over to the County Commission. He's the former chair of the County Commission, and he's a former CMPD officer and U.S. Marine. Phil Carey has a property management company. So yeah, that's some choices there if you live in University City. Let's move along. We got a couple of judgeships. Again, you don't hear a lot about these. These are local courts. The district court judge, District 26, seat 18, where you have Habika Cannon against Cecilia Osigura. And then moving along to Superior Court, District 26C, Seat 1, you have Caleb Newman, who is a senior assistant district attorney in Rowan County, facing George Guys, and he is a counsel to the Mecklenburg County Sheriff's Office, which is a good segue. And incidentally, you can find out more
The
about these
only thing,
candidates,
Tony, that I'll add about this
theelectionhub.org. Go ahead, Sucharita. Yes.
is with the Caleb Newman George Guys race. That is only available to people who live in the northern part of the county. The other district court race is countywide.
Got
So.
it. Okay, so the district court one is countywide, and the superior court one is only in the northern part of the county. Got it. And so we mentioned the counsel to the sheriff. Speaking of which, the final one on the ballot is the sheriff's race. And this is getting a lot of attention because Gary McFadden is a pretty outspoken guy. What do we know about this race, Sucharita?
Yeah, so this is going to be one of the heated, controversial races because there are actually former employees of Sheriff McFadden who are running against him. Ricky Robbins, Rodney Collins, and then you also have Antwain Nance, who worked at a juvenile detention center. So there is a lot of competition, a lot of endorsements that have gone very distributed across the four, among kind of among all four of the candidates. The Black Political Caucus did endorse McFadden, but there are other significant organizations that have endorsed the other candidates. McFadden is currently being investigated by the State Bureau of Investigation. And Tony, you can talk more about that. And partially that came out of something that Carla Cunningham had actually, kind of accused McFadden of. And also recently, McFadden had a pretty notorious testimony with the state legislature that didn't flatter him
To say the
tremendously.
least. It was very combative. It was, I mean, it was really good theater. But there were some sharp words exchanged from both sides. And McFadden has been accused of a lot of things actually by some people who work for him that say he is not a good leader. He's not a very good with people. He was sort of very difficult to work for. And you've had some prisoners that have some people in the jail that have sort of died on his watch. He's been criticized for that. So he's taken a lot of criticism, but he says, listen, it's not all about me. I provide clear leadership, and a lot of people don't like that. So, you have some options certainly here. I would encourage people to just read up on the candidates at theelectionhub.org. It's probably safe to say this is kind of a referendum on Sheriff McFadden, but he has three challengers, so they need to be evaluated as well. So I think that's going to do it for this edition. We've been talking about the Democratic ballot in Mecklenburg County for the 2026 primary. That election is March 3rd. Early voting goes through Saturday, February 28th at 18 different locations. Sucharita, very quickly, I'll give you the final word.
Yeah, thanks for everybody for listening. You clearly want to be informed. If you're even listening to this, what I would encourage you to do is then share your insights with at least 5 friends or family members in your circle, because the last primary in Mecklenburg County only had a 15% voter participation level. That's 1-5. So it's extremely low, and we can do better. So between spreading the word and hopefully going to one of the 19 early voting locations, we will improve voter turnout in Mecklenburg County.
All right, thanks. That'll do it.